Hmm. And we're live. Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the United Philosophy. After a short little break, things were quite busy in my personal life, and of course, I was a little bit ill, but we are back. We are back with a bang, and we're getting into the latest Manchester United news regarding the takeover. We'll do a Brighton look ahead as well for the match tomorrow night, and also we will cover the latest Man United transfer news on the show. So, with all that being said, let's get into it. So, up first, and as you will see from the title, it has come out tonight that should Qatar be successful in their purchase of Manchester United, they want to sign Kylian Mbappe. Now, I am what you might call a little bit of a skeptic whenever I see big stories coming out like this, the likes of Mbappe or other big name players coming. I'm just like, this sounds like paper talk. This sounds like something to basically just go out and probably have a couple of headlines, have a couple of stories sold, a bit of clickbait as you will, but I do think it's important to discuss because with the potential Qatari takeover, Man United would be in a position where we can go out and sign the big players. Perhaps not an Mbappe, but perhaps we could go buy a Frankie de Jong, for example, or maybe we could buy a Diogo Costa from Porto. There are very, very real possibilities of Qatar coming in and spending big money on Manchester United. And as fans, that's very exciting. Certainly something that we could look forward to. And I think if the Qatari takeover does go ahead, as many people suggest it might, I think we could be in for a big summer transfer window. But guys, get your thoughts in. We have a poll running in the comments at the moment, and that is, who do you think will buy Manchester United? At the minute, as we can see, Qatar are in they are ahead in the fans' minds, in many people's minds, but also it has come out that Jim Ratcliffe has put a second bid in for Manchester United and may allow the Glazers to stay as part of that, and that's something we have to really we have to think about this. This is a real possibility of this happening, and I think it would be terrible for the club. I'm sure you guys agree as well. I can see a couple of people joining in, so welcome to the stream, welcome to the channel, guys. But yes, there is a real possibility of the Glazers staying should Jim Ratcliffe win. Now, basically what has happened is he has offered less money than Qatar to buy Manchester United, but it works out as being more money for the Glazers because he's only willing to take over 50% of their shares, making him the majority shareholder of Manchester United. We as fans, we want to see the Glazers gone. That is the number one objective. That is the most important thing that could happen to our football club, is new owners coming in. Now, do I think Ratcliffe would be a bad owner? I don't know. I'm not in a position to really make a judgment on that. We can only react as the news. As fans, that's all we have to go off. And that deal does not look good to me. I don't think we as fans want a future where the Glazers remain at the club under any way, shape or form. I don't think that's what we need and want as a fan base, and I think Ratcliffe's bid in that regard has to be viewed as what it is. It's a guy with less money than Qatar trying to put an offer together that'll outbid and better what Qatar have, make a better offer to the Glazers, not a bigger offer overall for the club. So that's kind of where we are. That's the position where we are at the moment in regards to the Jim Ratcliffe takeover. I have very mixed emotions on it. As we know, fans seem to want Qatar for the most part. They want that sort of influx of money, the big investment, the big players coming in. And is Ratcliffe in a position to offer that? I do not know. The stadium by itself will be at least £1 billion. Massive investment needed in order to make Old Trafford into the stadium that it should be. Of course, there will also be training facilities need upgraded. It has come out, of course, that Qatar will be willing to invest £800 million up front for Manchester United, and that could be massive. That could be absolutely huge if it does go ahead. But as we can see, most people seem to think that Qatar and Sheikh Jassim will become the new owners of Manchester United. Personally, I think this could be the real possibility. Now, it has come out, of course, in recent updates from the Daily Mail, from Mike Keegan, other credible journalists, that Qatar want to outbid everybody. They are obsessed with the idea of buying Manchester United, and I think they will come in with a bigger offer if it turns out that the Glazers are willing to go with Jim Ratcliffe and work with him. But it seems such a strange deal to me. It seems like something that is so bizarre. You imagine it if you're selling your house, for instance, and somebody comes along, offers you the full money for the house, and then somebody else comes along, offers you a less amount of money, but they'll still let you live in the spare room. I mean, you're safer just walking away. Take the money. That's what I think the Glazers should do. That's what I hope they will do. But that is not for certain. So it has come out pretty recently from a lot of credible journalists, Fabrizio Romano, David Ornstein, and financial reporters as well. Martin Ziegler of the Times, very, very reliable, and he is very well informed on this. They all think Ratcliffe is rumoured to be leading the race. They all think that Ratcliffe could be the guy who comes in and buys Manchester United, offer that more money to the Glazers, and I don't think it's a good deal for Manchester United. And that does bring us on to the next point. Something we have kind of touched on in the first couple of minutes is the Glazers are rumoured to want to drag the sale out even more, squeeze every last penny out of Ratcliffe or out of Qatar or any other potential owner. Now, I'm not surprised at this. As we know, the Glazers, it is all money with the Glazer family. And we will see what happens. Everything remains a little bit uncertain, a little bit chaotic. It doesn't seem like a very smooth transition, and I think that's a worrying side effect of this sale is what that's going to do for our summer transfer window. Now, it has come out that Ratcliffe and Qatar would, if their offer has the green light and is accepted by the Glazers, they want immediate control over the transfer window coming up, something the Glazers are very reluctant to do. So Erik ten Hag, he is in a difficult position. He won't know how much of a budget he has, what he's working with for next season, and that's a big concern for me. Erik ten Hag has done great as Manchester United manager. Our transfers have been very strong, but he needs to know what he's working with. He needs to know the budget, because we can't just go out if we have no money and buy a Frankie de Jong, a Zimhen, maybe a Diogo Costa, another fullback. Who knows what Erik ten Hag has up his sleeve for this window, but it is a big, big concern for me. But guys, get your thoughts in the comments. Keep voting on the poll. Let me know who you think will be the new Manchester United owner and what do you think will happen in the summer. That's what we're talking about tonight. We will later on in the show touch on the upcoming transfer window for Manchester United, a very big and important window as we look to make that next step. And this season it has been very, very good so far for Erik ten Hag. Real signs of progress. We were almost certain to finish in the top four, and I think that he deserves the backing to go out into the transfer market and make something big happen for Manchester United. That's what he deserves. He has earned that right. Let's back the manager and give him the best possible chance. The Glazers, they are not doing that. By holding on to power, not letting others come in, plan their transfer window, that only hinders us. And as it stands, we will be running about in August, just like we did last year, trying to sign players. And it doesn't always work. We've been lucky Casemiro has been so effective. We've been lucky that Anthony has been pretty good for the most part this season. But if you're Erik ten Hag, you want your plan set in motion. You want everything done early so that you can bring those players on pre-season and have them bond with the rest of the team. And that's a concern for me. If we cannot do that, if we cannot have those players in early doors and make that difference, I would be concerned for next season. As we know, our rivals will strengthen in the summer. The likes of Newcastle will spend big. Chelsea will spend very, very big in the summer on their new manager. Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, they're all going to have a big summer. We need to have one as well. We've been trapped in this cycle before where we finish top four, get a Champions League space, and we go out the next season and we don't do anything in the transfer window. That's something we've seen before. We've seen it under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We finished third in the league and then we went out, we signed Cavani, Pellistri, Alex Telles and Donny van de Beek, and that was our summer transfer window. And that's not enough. We need to go out and really invest heavily in this squad, and that's what it comes down to. We can see from the title that Qatar want to come in, spend big money, bring in the likes of Kylian Mbappe, perhaps bring somebody else in, another big player. That sounds exciting for me. That, even though it might be a little bit unrealistic, it sounds good. It sounds exciting. It sounds like Qatar want to get the fans on side. Now, there are two potential reasons for this. Number one, they want to get more fan support. There are large sections of the fan base who do not want Qatari ownership for many reasons involving the morality of it, ethics, whatever reason. Another example could be that they want to go out, make a big splash, make a big rumour, get people excited, and hopefully try to make it look like they're winning the race. Now, are they winning the race? We do not know this for certain at this time. It is something that concerns me a lot. Is Ratcliffe's bid allows the Glazers to stay on. It will be a very messy transition as well. Now, if Qatar come in, buy over the club, it will be smooth, it will be fast. With Ratcliffe, there are a lot of technicalities, so I'll quickly break those down for you guys so everybody has a very good understanding of what the situation is. So fundamentally, Man United have two different types of shares. You have Class A and Class B. So the Class B shares are ones that give voting rights and allow you to decide on the running of the club, and those are held exclusively by the Glazer family. The other shares, Class A shares, they are shares which are just general ownership. A lot of banking groups and other investment groups hold those types of shares looking to make money. What Ratcliffe, if he comes in, needs to do is get control. We cannot be sitting in a situation where we have Ratcliffe infighting with the Glazer family over transfers, over spending. We need to have new owners regardless. So if you ask me, at the minute, what's the best offer for Manchester United as a club? It's probably Qatar's. Now, there are, of course, a lot of downsides, I guess, to Qatari ownership. You could look at potential ethical stuff, or you could look at sports washing, whatever. But ultimately, the way the football is going, it's big, big money. And that's what talks. Money will talk in the future for football, and we need to be able to outspend and match our rivals. We've seen that, like we've seen today, Real Madrid have gone out and bought Jude Bellingham pretty much. They pretty much have that tied up, sealed up, and that's a concern for me. Look at Madrid. They already have Modric, Kroos, Valverde, Camavinga, Tchouaméni. They go out and buy Bellingham. That's how a proper club should operate. Clear plans and clear, decisive action. We are always playing catch up, and under the Glazers, this will just continue, and it is a concern of mine. You comment in there as well. JP, welcome to the stream, man. Thank you very much for joining us. Please, let's go get top 4. We need to win tomorrow. I'm worried about this to away games. We are very bad in away grounds. Yep, completely agree. And with that, we will actually move on and have a quick look at tomorrow's match. So we play Brighton tomorrow night, and we are in a good position. We are in a very strong position to finish in the top 4. We are hopefully going to see a lot in the next couple of matches. Now, playing Brighton will be difficult. I have my rumoured starting 11 beside me here, so I think we're going to go David De Gea in goal, Dalot at right back, Lindelof, Luke Shaw, Malacia. Did very well against Aston Villa, that back 4, and I think we'll continue. Midfield, Bruno, Casemiro, Eriksen. Now, of course, Brighton, they're a very good team. They work hard, they run hard, and I think Fred could be a very good option in there for a bit of legs, a bit of bite, and good work. And moving forward, probably going to have Rashford, Antony, and Anthony Martial through the middle. So that's how I think we will line up in that one. But as JP has said, we need to get this top 4. So important that we go out and get into the Champions League next season. If we do that, more money to spend in the summer. Erik ten Hag, he will get the players he needs. We seen last year, without Champions League, we couldn't get our main target in Frankie de Jong, and that is something that hopefully we can right this year. Let's finish in the top 4. Let's get into the Champions League, and let's enjoy the FA Cup final as well. FA Cup final, it'd be great to win another trophy, but it is only... It's a day out at the end of the season. The most important thing is Champions League football, as JP has said. So we need Champions League to move on as a club, hit that next level. Let's test ourselves against some of the best teams in all of Europe. So, so as we know, Brighton are a very good team. They won their last match 6-0 against Wolves, and they have been playing very, very well under De Zerbi. A fantastic team to watch. So good. And they really are a model on how you can be a very effective football club on a small budget. I think when we look at what Brighton have done this season, it is fantastic. And the players they've brought in, so good for so little. And it also does raise a couple of questions. Why aren't United run like this? Why do we insist on spending massive money on players every single season when there's some real gems to be had as well? So I think certainly a lot we can learn from Brighton. One of my favourite Brighton players, Moses Caicedo, we could have bought him, of course, under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. We didn't, man. He was available for 3 million. We did not take up that option. But guys, keep voting on the poll. Who do you think will buy Manchester United? Will it be Sheikh Jassim or will it be Sir Jim Ratcliffe? At the minute, Sheikh Jassim is winning in the poll. He may well be running the race in general. Rumoured to be going to spend more money, raising his bid by £800 million, taking it over £6 billion in total, which, as we know, has been the Glazers' target all along. They want $6 billion. Looks like Qatar are going to offer it. Now, is that desperation? Is that because Ratcliffe is running the race? That remains to be seen. But I think if they offer that money, they will get Manchester United. I think the Glazers will always take the view the most money wins. And I think that's all they care about. They do not care about the club after they make their money, after they sell it. But let's hope that Ratcliffe, if he does come in, the Glazers are gone. JP, Brighton recruitment are amazing, especially Latin American players at cheap prices. Yep, completely agree. Looking at the likes of Moses Caicedo, Alexis McAllister, some other really good players in there as well. Inistapan is very, very good at left back, and they're a real model of how you can run a club very well on a small budget. And it will be a difficult match tomorrow, make no mistake about it. I'm hoping that Dalot or Wan-Bissaka, whoever starts at right back, can shut up Mitoma. Mitoma has been fantastic this year, but Wan-Bissaka did a fantastic job against him in the FA Cup semi-final. So I hope to see something similar in this match. I hope that we can go out, beat Brighton. Most important thing, I think, is not losing the match. We said that last week, of course, when we drew with Tottenham. The most important thing was not to lose that match, and we didn't. So let's keep on picking up those points. If it's a draw, it's disappointing, but it's not a disaster. A loss puts us under a lot of pressure because we could potentially still finish outside the top four. So I'm hoping we can go have a good match against Brighton. They have some very, very good players in there. The likes of McAllister and Mitoma, really good. Pascal Gross, very good player. Solly March, Danny Welbeck even as well. So it will certainly be an interesting match tomorrow. I look forward to it. Always like watching Brighton play. And Erik ten Hag, he always has something up his sleeve in these big tactical battles. And hopefully we can do something similar. We went last year to Brighton. We lost 4-0. A very embarrassing day under Ralph Rangnick. And hopefully we do not do this tomorrow. Hopefully we can turn up, pick up a win ideally. Draw isn't the end of the world, but we need to avoid defeat at all costs. That has to be the most important thing in this match. And I think we can beat Brighton. I think what we must do is something similar to what we did in the FA Cup semi-final. When we went with a mid-block, we didn't let them play through us. Held the ball in midfield, we attacked them in behind, and ultimately we won the match on penalties. We had the chances that day to win that match during regular time. Hopefully we can do the same tomorrow. But as JP has said, Brighton, they're a very good team, really good recruitment, very well run, and of course United have struggled away from home. Something we have struggled with all season, of course, losing to Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Newcastle. Hopefully we don't lose tomorrow to Brighton. That's the main thing in this match. If we go out, put in a good performance, at least pick up 1 point, hopefully 3, I think we can go on, easily finish in the top 4. We are currently 7 points clear in top 4 with 2 matches in hand. Hopefully we can go out and finish in the top 4, sew that up nice and early, rest some players, and maybe go on to win the FA Cup final. That would be the ultimate end to the season. We would absolutely love another trophy, but that top 4 finish is the most important thing. So with that being said, and touching on JP's comments on recruitment, let's have a quick look at some of the latest Man United transfer news and players that we have been linked to today, because there has been quite a bit come out from various news outlets during the course of today. So we will have a quick run through of all that. So up first, of course, is Kylian Mbappe. We can see that from the title. Apparently Qatar want to sign Mbappe should they buy Man United, and what a signing that would be. Absolutely fantastic. Probably the best player in the world right now, Mbappe. I don't know if it's realistic. I think it might be like something to get the fans excited, but it could be absolutely amazing, of course. Now, more credible outlets, Fabrizio Romano has reported today that Manchester United hold a strong interest in Kolo Muani. Now, Kolo Muani is a player currently playing for... currently playing in the Bundesliga, doing very well, of course. Did well at the World Cup under France. A good player, a solid striker, but for his rumour price, 75 million, just not that good in my opinion. The next up is Victor Osimhen, a player who definitely is as good as what his team makes him out to be. Absolutely fantastic this season, Victor Osimhen, and I would love United to go out and sign him. He would link up very well with Rashford, in my opinion, forming a good connection. And as we know, Bruno Fernandes, one of the best creative players in the Premier League this season. He only has 11 assists. That shows how wasteful we've been. And with someone of Osimhen's quality, Bruno will get a lot more assists, we will score a lot more goals and put teams to the sword for sure. Now, we have a final transfer rumour to cover on the video. So, apparently Manchester United are pretty torn between signing Moses Caicedo and Alexis McAllister from Brighton. Now, Caicedo was a player Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted. Initially, he was available for around 3 to 5 million. We did not buy him, and now he will cost around 60 to 70. It's typical. It's the story of Manchester United's life over the last 10 years, is these really poor transfer decisions. Now, if you ask me if it's between McAllister and Caicedo, I will probably pick Caicedo. I think he fits what we need as a club. I think he will be very good alongside Casemiro, a very solid player. McAllister, probably more eye-catching, does a lot more offensive stuff. But look who we already have. We have Bruno, Sancho, Antony, Marcus Rashford, Garnacho in those forward areas. I don't think we need to spend a lot of our budget on Alexis McAllister. I think we need more cover for Eriksen, someone who can offer something different, and I think Caicedo could be that guy. But guys, can see a couple more people joining in as well, so if you guys are new, of course, and you want to join in with the community, smash that sub button, get commenting as well, and we currently have a poll running in the comments. Who will buy Manchester United? Will it be Sheikh Jassim and Qatar, or will it be Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Ineos? Let me know in the comments. Keep voting on the poll as well. So, having done the Brighton preview, looked at the transfers, let's head back to the main story of tonight's live of the show in general. The biggest thing going on with Manchester United, and that is the takeover. So, as we can see from the title, United, we apparently would like to sign Kylian Mbappe should we go out and be bought by Qatar. Now, I'm not quite sure how I feel about this. I feel like this might be a story running the mill just to sell a few papers, get a few clicks online, but it could be absolutely amazing. As we know, Mbappe is one of the best players in world football, and apparently Qatar are happy to spend up to 200 million to buy Kylian Mbappe. Now, what a signing that would be, in my opinion. Really is one of the best players in the entire world, and I think he could be amazing at Manchester United. So good, and there's no doubt in my mind he would go out, smash it up, tear it up, score a lot of goals, and make us an even better team. But I don't see it happening. I think that is the key with this. I think this is just a bit of paper talk. I feel like if Qatar are genuinely putting it out that they want to buy Mbappe, I feel like that might be a way to try spin things to put the fans on their side. That's what I think this could be. But we will, of course, have new owners coming in soon. So just to give a quick timeline summary, in November, it was announced by Manchester United that they would be pursuing what they called strategic investment opportunities. So that, of course, meant that we were up for sale. This has been a very long process. We have had public bidders, people come out for months on end. Of course, some people, of course, complete liars, the likes of Michael Knighton, Thomas Siliakos. We are not bothered with them. It comes down to two people. It comes down to Sheikh Jassim, Jim Ratcliffe. That is who will be buying Manchester United. In my opinion, that is what will happen. And it's all a question of who is the one to bid the most and buy the club. Ultimately, whoever offers the Glazers the most money will own the club. That is absolute, because Glazers, they only care about money. It is money, money, money with that Glazer family, and whoever offers them the best deal, I think, will win. Now, as we know, Jim Ratcliffe, Ineos, they've offered less money to buy Manchester United, but all of that money would go to the Glazer family. And Qatar, on the other hand, they have offered around £5.5 billion, but that is for 100%. So it all comes down to what is better for the Glazer family. I think they should walk away. I think it's so confusing and so strange if they went in on a partnership with Ratcliffe. I mean, we used the analogy earlier in the show. If you're selling a house and you want to move out, do you take an offer for the whole house, or do you take an offer for most of the house and you get to keep the spare bedroom and live there? That just doesn't make sense to me. I don't think the Glazers will accept not having control over the club, and hopefully that means Qatar will become the new owners, because Ratcliffe, if he does want the Glazers to stay, he is no Man United fan. He is not a friend of United fans if he wants the Glazers to stay. That is my opinion. I have always thought that should Ratcliffe come in, keep the Glazers there, I think that means he is not a fan of the club. He is not one of the fans, and he is not one of us. That is a big concern there. Now, if he comes in, completely buys the Glazers out, I think that's a different story. That's a better deal for United, and hopefully over time he can go on, buy the rest of the club. But I doubt it. I think Ratcliffe, he's a businessman. He wants to make money from the club in some way, shape or form, and that concerns me. We don't want to be run like a business anymore. We've had that for many, many years at this point, and it's a big, big concern of mine moving forward. What we have to do, go out with new owners, back the manager, improve our team, compete for big trophies. That is what we must do. Of course, massive cost to whoever comes in and buys the club. Of course, we will have huge investment needed for a stadium, potentially a new stadium, players, transfers, new training facilities, huge costs. We do not want more debt. If Ratcliffe comes in, puts more debt on the club, that is an awful deal in my opinion, because we basically will have Glazers 2.0. We'll just have another version of the Glazers running the club. Qatar's offer seems better for the club, better for what we want as a fan base, and I think if it wasn't for some of the ethical problems people have with Qatar, I think people would definitely be supporting their bid, and people would be very anti-Ratcliffe. But that's my thought, guys. Get your thoughts in as well. Completely interactive show. Get your thoughts in there, just like JP has on the match tomorrow. Of course, if you are new, smash that sub button. Join in with community. Really helps us out. We will be live nearly every day with the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, player reviews, match watch-alongs and match reactions. So stay tuned for all that coming up, guys. Keep voting on the poll. At the minute, we can see Sheikh Tassim is a big favourite among you guys. 83% of the vote. You guys clearly want to see Qatar by Manchester United. I'm kind of edging that way myself. I have been very torn on it. I have been unsure for a very long time as to who should buy Manchester United. I always had the opinion that anybody would be better than the Glazers, and now we have two offers. We have two people on the table, two people we can choose and support and back their bids. I think probably Qatar is the way to go for Manchester United. It's the way football is going. You need that sort of money, that sort of investment, ambition, if you want to be successful. Because when you're competing with Man City and Newcastle now, Chelsea with all their money, Liverpool will spend big this year, Barcelona, Real Madrid, PSG, you have to go out and spend big money on your players. You have to do it every single season if you want to be competitive. Something that Ferguson did so well as manager was constantly change and invest in the team. We need to have that back at the club, because we have some very good players, the likes of Casemiro, David De Gea, Varane, Eriksen. All great players, but they are the wrong side of 30. They will slowly start to decline over the next couple of years, and we have to be able to go out, replace them. Look at what Real Madrid are doing as a team. They're replacing Modric and Kroos with Bellingham, Camavinga, Tchouaméni. That is how United need to operate. We need to be a serious club like that. We have to go out, spend big money, have a proper plan for the future. We have to go out and be ambitious in the transfer windows, and that's why we have fell to where we are. We had the same players for too long, the likes of Ferdinand, Vidic, Ryan Giggs, Scholes. When they all left at once, we had nobody to replace them. We didn't have proper ownership, proper leadership at the club, and we need that back. Erik ten Hag, he has shown he can do it. He's shown he can be the right man to lead us forward, but he can only succeed if he is given the backing he needs to go out, invest in the team, bring the players in, and constantly evolve and improve this team. That is the only way to be successful. Look at what Pep's doing at Man City. He had Aguero, David Silva, Vincent Kompany when he first arrived. Now he has Haaland and De Bruyne, Ruben Diaz, so many top level players. What we have to do is keep on changing, evolving in this team, investing in our future, and it will reap dividends in the future. So guys, with that and everything being covered in the stream, we're going to leave it here. Just a short stream for tonight, but we will be back live tomorrow with a match reaction for the Brighton match and everything that transpires in that. So thank you very much for watching. If you are new, of course, smash that sub button, join in with the community. Really helps us out on the channel, and I will see you in the next one.